Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another pointless City Skyline experiment where today your boy is asking the question, can we create our own version of the Suez Canal and get a cargo ship stuck? No, that's not the question, but it's kind of led on to this weird little kind of experiment that I want to do today. Now, we all know the news lately. Suez Canal, ship got stuck for days, billions in cargo were just parked in the sea. Nothing was happening. Well, it's kind of led me onto this little idea where I've created a small little kind of town that's on the seafront. Well, not really. It's on a lakefront, but it has the potential to be connected up to two ends of the sea via canals. And I wanted to kind of see if it's possible to get cargo ships through a canal system to provide this little city that I've built on the lake with the imports and exports that it really needs. Now, the other question is, can you make cargo ships go down canals? Yes and no is the question. No, if you're playing like the vanilla game of it, it's very difficult. Yes, if you're going to have a couple of mods installed, which is what we're going to be looking at today. So if you do enjoy this weird type of experiment video, I might start bringing these back, guys. Let me know by smashing that like button down below. If you are new around here, then make sure you do subscribe. So yeah, I figured out bringing these experiment videos back. Let me know if you want to see more of them in the comment section down below. But without further ado, I'll show you what your boy has now created. So, just to kind of give you a little kind of the gist of it, we have sea all over here. Beautiful. There is cargo ships that do pass through, but there's nothing really going on right now, so they don't come as regular as you would expect. Some ships over here. There's another like kind of little sea edge, and then we have this little lake in the middle. Now, what I've done is I've kind of built this little town on the lakefront, and it's just screaming. It's screaming for something to happen around here. And what we could do is we could create little canals that connect this lake to the sea, both ends. So we could have cargo ships passing through. Now, it is quite difficult to get it. And when I mean canals, I don't mean just kind of getting the landscape and tall and big and digging a big trench. I actually mean, where is it? Actual canal systems is what I want to try and implement. Now, it is quite difficult. You can't really do this with the base vanilla game because, one, you can't draw your own ship paths, which is the mod that I have installed, where you can draw our very own ship paths here. There you go. And also, we might need to use a little bit of anarchy to get the ship paths to go up the canal. Now, to kind of give you an idea of how this is pretty much going to work, there's a little island here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the canal, and we need the deep and wide canal. We need to kind of make maximum depths. If I pass this straight over, right, we'll give it time for the water to settle. We'll fast forward it. So basically what we do is, as that goes across there, we have to use our little anarchy tool. So straight away, you can see I can, without anarchy on, I can bring it into the canal so far. But to make it go all the way, not really going to work. But you get moments of where it could potentially work. You just kind of have to catch the water at the right kind of depth and length. So I can bring it in. And that's what I mean. You kind of have to catch it at the right depth and length, which here needs to be a little bit deeper. So we kind of got to play around with that idea. Now it's going to be really difficult. It is going to be difficult, especially when you're trying to go over a long distance like we're going to have right now. So we might have to do a little bit of terraining to try and make the canal, because as you see on there, right, the canal kind of arched, and we pretty much want it as flat as possible. So we have a little problems with our town already. The fact that it doesn't have enough water. That's okay. Bam. We'll drop some more water down. Right, I'm not going to get into the fact that I'm trying to fix this city. That is not the case right now. I gotta make a canal and get a ship stuck. You know, real world events and all that jazz. So let's take a look at the start with this side. We know that it kind of bows over, and if I was to build a canal straight through, the same thing will happen over to this, where is it gone, this island. Now, as of right now, if I check the height of this island, it goes and bows up by 53. Now, if we use this island as our little test point, and let's say we go a little bit above the sand line, and if I use a brush here, because if they were going to build a canal in real life, they wouldn't just kind of build a canal. They'll prep the land and all that kind of jazz. So that is currently 42 in terms of height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a canal over this. So we kind of start at the seabed to the seabed. And while that does slightly go up a bit, I'll wait for this to kind of settle. And then we'll see if we can run our ship path directly through it. So as of right now, with the alley key on, bam, we can do it. We can do it. That's interesting. Now, I don't know what would happen once the water settles. I don't know if that will still be a possibility. But what I've noticed is it does kind of... It does spill over the edges, but that's kind of fine, though, because this is a canal. Now, like I said, I don't know whether that's going to actually work after all this has been placed in. So why don't I kind of... Oh no, I'm deleting all the wrong things right now. Deleted all the wrong things. Right, get that connected back up. I'll wait for that to now settle. The water. And then we'll try it once more. And if that then works, that is our go-to. So what I'll do while I'll wait, I'm going to actually now run. I'll start it here. The shipping line, kind of down here. This is the shipping line, right? No, that's the ferry pathway. Damn it, Seniac. Why you gotta be so foolish for? Right, down to there, and then down to there. So that's where it's going to kind of simply pass through. So that should now have settled. Which we might have to still catch it. Or make it a little bit lower. Because it still can't go through. So that doesn't entirely work. And if you do look at it, it does kind of bow up a bit. So we need to make it go a little bit deeper. So deleting all that again. So this is where we're going with it. We're trying to get the right kind of levels going on. So then at this point, 42, if I bring it then down to... Because then again, if I bring it down to where the shoreline actually is... Because then that will kind of run a sliver of water kind of through this area. But not that much. If I go a little bit of a sliver again, 37 maybe. Is 37 enough to kind of create water to flow through? Like just skim the top of it? It is. So if water skims the top of it, very, very shallow, then we dig our trench for our canal. Right? Because we know that then very shallow bits of water are going to go on the edges, but we got the big deep trench in the middle that will push the ships through. That's kind of what we're hoping for. Really, that's kind of what we're hoping for. So again, with the ship side of things, should we wait for it to settle? Then again, I know it's going to go directly over. That's going to work. Okay, that's legit going to work. So we then pick our point. So if I choose... Oh, hang on, what am I on? I'm not even on the right thing. So if I choose here, and this is what they would do in real life. They would naturally dig a canal, and then they'll make the middle of it. Because that, if you in real life, that's kind of how the ship got wedged. Because like in a canal here, they have the big deep they dig like a strip like this. Then in the middle, they dig a deeper section to where the ships are meant to stay in the middle. And it kind of got sideways and clipped the edges. And that's kind of how... Oh! Okay, that's interesting then. So we know the lake is... Well, that makes sense. The lake is slightly lower than the sea. Which makes 100% sense. Because, you know, the lake is going to eventually evaporate. Because I don't think it has a proper water source, does it? It doesn't even have a water source in here. No wonder. So that's going to eventually evaporate. So this will be interesting with watching the lake slightly rise. Which might actually put these... No, I don't think it will put these guys at risk. But it would be interesting. So if I bring this down. And shall I create like a multiple connections? Because the Suez Canal kind of has multiple connections. So if I brought that up to there, and then let's say I ran that to go there, that will make things slightly interesting. Well, that's not the smoothing tool. There we go. So that will bring in water and naturally then fill up the lake. And I'm thinking, do I do another one just here? Bring another one in this way. There we go. Widen this all the way down to here. And again, that should then bring in a little bit more water. It's not a lot, but until I drop the actual canal in, it won't really fill up too much. So that's going to be interesting. We've got two right now. Two beautiful entry points. That one kind of feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? I feel like it should. Yeah, that one does feel really, really weird. But if I was to build another one, or is that one fine? Now we'll go with that one. We still got this one over here, which is pretty nice. I like it. I like it. Right, so that's bringing water in naturally. Both sides right now. Some doing better than others. But we now need to get the actual canals down. So how we do it is, well, I'll kind of start from the bottom of the sea bed and then go pretty much in a straight line to the lake bed. There we go. So that creates that natural there. And that's how the ship kind of got wedged. Like, the front and back of it went over the edge here onto the shallow bit. And it kind of, it beached, didn't it, in many ways. But that should then bring in, well, make the sea eventually push inwards. And then slightly start raising the lake. And if I do the same over here. So this, I'm actually going to have to bend it a little bit, aren't I? Alright, to there. I don't know how well that's going to be, actually, that one, because with the bend on it. But then again, I've got bends on these ones, so that's going to be interesting too. So if I go from here, I suppose it doesn't really matter too much. There we go. And is it possible to do a connection? Alright, if I bring it to there. Does that... Does that not work as a connection, guys? Really? Okay. We'll do it like that. I think eventually the water will overflow around that area. And you wouldn't really notice it. But there's a deep dug trench to allow the ships to pass through. So you can see from this one where it looks like a normal river, but what you don't realize is we've dug a deep canal trench in the middle, which would hopefully allow the ships to pass through. Now I want to give this a little bit of time because I know it's got to fill the lake up slightly to get it almost borderline to the same level as the sea. We have to wait for the water that's flowing backwards now and going against the flow to kind of settle down. Death is upon us in our little town over here. So we're just going to let a little bit of time now pass by. Smoothing up the edges of the canal system here to make it just like visually look a little bit nicer. But I don't think we're too far off now being able to send some ships down it. We've just got to shut up the ship pathways. But that should be pretty much good to go. Yeah. It's nice and deep. Nice and wide. What I did as well is to make sure that these in the middle will kind of set normal. I'll show you what I did here. So you kind of... Oh, damn, I'm duplicating. What I did was... No, I don't want to duplicate. Get off. Duplicate. I highlighted all of it, and I kind of then set them all to be the object height of the entry point. I kind of messed around with this one to make sure it did work. And then I kind of did it on these ones. So the whole canals that are in are the same level as the seabed. Just so we can almost borderline guarantee that we've got the depth underneath the boat to allow cargo to pass through. So with now the shipping path here, that's a ferry pathway. Here we go. I know we can come on because I've anarchied it on, and then we still wait for water to kind of settle. Is what we're still doing. So at what point does it go? No. It's on the entry point here. Okay. Let me just check the other ones. Because if it still doesn't work, that's when we're going to have to kind of work a little bit of our magic. So, is that... Oh, I keep clicking on ferry pathway. That's annoying. So, we'll do it in stages where we know it's okay. But it gets a bit funky on that point there. So, where does this go in okay to? So, pretty much to there. And then it goes, Seniac. Not continuing. But there is kind of brief moments where it does try to go in. And let me try on this side, so we kind of work from the opposite way. So that can go to there, but it doesn't want to run through the middle. Right. So, still a bit funky, but we'll still try our best. So we know this kind of... that's now all completely messed up because of the way I did all that. If I delete that back to here... Oh, I've kind of completely messed the whole of that up right now, haven't I? We're going to wait for the water to kind of settle. The water's flowing in really, really fast still. So that still kind of shows me that we're not really up to the same level yet in the lake. And that's probably what the issue is. With the sheer speed that it's flowing in at, it doesn't kind of look too good, really, does it? Maybe I still got to give it a little bit of time. Right, I'll give it another 5 minutes, and if I start to see the little kind of canals here starting to slow down a little bit, then I know the lake is almost at the correct height. It's still flowing in quite fast on this side too. So it was one, the lake's height was a lot higher than what I thought it was going to be. I soon found out when I started flooding the city. But also, I can't get it to connect through, and it's not because of the canal system. I didn't realise, and I'm kind of... It makes complete sense. There's a width limit. I didn't know this. I literally did not know this. There was a freaking width limit when it comes to trying to make a ship path go through a certain area. So if I was to like place this now going up, right, it will go through, okay? It makes complete sense because look at it. You see the green line in the middle and then you see the orange boundary around the edge? That's the limit. Seniac, you're so dumb. So when I get down here, obviously I get to this point and then my boundaries go over onto land. Oh, man. I've been waiting how long? Guys, I've been waiting so long to get this to work. Right, there we go. Now I realise that is a thing. That's changed everything. So there we go. Our first shipping path going through. So what I did was I deleted the canal to see if I can get it to go through, and it still didn't go through. And then I kind of put it back in again. So if I make this one slightly wider as well, so up the brush size. So I first created good entry points. Push this down a bit more. I'm not sure if that is wide enough, but we'll find out right now. So bringing it down. It's almost in some places. Push that side down a bit. There we go. Which makes complete and utter sense because they're big vessels, so they need all the space that they can get, really, can't they? So bringing this there. Look, see, there we go. We did it. So apart from having like a depth limit, there's also a let me delete those and put them back in. There's also a width limit. Wow, Seniac, you learn something new every day. Anybody else realise that, or is it just me? Am I just that dumb? I think I'm just that dumb. So it ain't gonna happen here. It ain't gonna happen here, Chief. So bring that back. And, right, we'll make the brush size a bit bigger. I'll try and go on the inside as much as possible. bringing that down. But the main thing is we still have the depth of it through using the canal. There we go. Very, very wide. Very, very, very wide. Have I got the green light now to do it? Again, trying to follow the canal path as much as possible. There we go. And then take a straight. There we go. We're actually now physically done. Like, I've got it all connecting through. A bit mental, but we got there in the end. Now, widening it does mean more water's gonna flow into this area. And there we go. There's our first cargo ship doing what it needs to do. And it's turned around and headed straight back out. It's like, oh, hell no. Ships are going. Oh, this is amazing. We've created our very own canal system. Beautiful. So with that said, guys, with that said right now, we get to do what we originally wanted to do. So we're now making this beautiful. Beautiful. Hang on, it's the wrong one. That's a train line, isn't it? Where's the ships? Here we go. This beautiful little lake-bound town. I'm not sure where to quite place it. I'll place it here. And with the power invested in your boy with using the Touch It mod. Boom. I could almost select it then a minute ago. Why can't I select it now? Right, we'll do it now. Squeeze me. Squeeze me. There we go. So we delete the road, so it uses the road on the shoreline. And that enables then this little town to have some imports and exports via ship coming through our man-made canal system. And then off it goes. Amazing. Now, with that now all put into place, I wonder if I can then slowly start reclaiming some of the land back to make it a little bit more narrow. And that they'll be okay with it. Because that's the kind of stuff you have to do with a game. You kind of have to follow the rules and then go against all the rules. So with the fact that I got it so close to the actual canal line, I'm wondering if that doesn't impede it and they're still able to kind of sail down. I'm loving the fact that this one kind of goes up, round and back out again. So it manages to go through okay, but I don't know if the game's logic's going to update momentarily and go, no, Seniac, no right now. Right, the city still has death. Let me sort the death out, otherwise this place is just going to completely die. You have death care. Right, they're still coming through here, so I reckon that's going to work then. So we kind of have to widen it to get it in, and once it's in, I can then narrow the canal again. Gotta keep an eye on it though, because I might narrow it too much. And they might start beaching. There we go. Still using it. Amazing. It's hilarious, this is. I'm learning so much about canals right now. So much. Right, brush size right down so I can get right into the edges of the nooks and crannies on this side. Maybe bring it back up a bit. Again, paying attention to that ship so it just kind of clips it. Where's that going? Oh, that's cutting the edges quite... I mean, it's all fine. It's more over that one side than the other. There we go. We've created a beautiful little canal system. Ships are so even if you do reclaim it all back, because the ship path's already in place, we got no issues. We have no issues. I could probably do with smoothing the edges a little bit though. Making those a little bit nicer. But there's only so much you can do because you are right against the canal edge. But voila. Voila, boys. And there's again the cargo goods that they need. As another ship makes its way over. Drops some goods off. Picks some goods up. Not bad. hopefully keep that little city alive. And we've created our very own little canal system. So hopefully none of these kind of get beached like the Suez Canal and then all of our cargo's backed up. But it just kind of sparked me to create this, and now I know that it is physically possible. I mean, you can completely build these without using the canal systems, that's not a problem. But the great thing is they give you the depth to kind of like, you know, make sure you're all okay and stuff like that. Again, you can still completely build them without, but I feel like it's kind of cool to have them in, because it's like as if you man-made and man-engineered these kind of systems. And we've turned this lake now in to a shipping hub. Beautiful. And if you guys did enjoy this pointless city skyline experimental video and want to see more pointless city skyline experimental videos, then smash that like button down below. Let me know in the comment section too, guys. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.